Hello, my name is Beth Hundy from the Center for Teaching and Learning Curriculum team. In this short video, I'm going to walk you through how to enter your curriculum data into a curriculum map. The most important document that you'll want to have a look at is the curriculum mapping instructions, which you will receive in your email. But this video is a supplement to that in case you want a little bit more detail as to how to fill out the curriculum map. All right, here we go. Now, the resource I mentioned, the curriculum mapping instructions, has definitions of introduce, reinforce, and proficient right on it, which are really important because we want everybody to be entering data with the same definitions in mind. If you need a reminder of those definitions, you can hover over this yellow square and see them here. It's important to remember that these are introduce, reinforce, and proficient at the level we expect a student upon graduation from the programs in question. So you might be wondering, how can any undergraduate be proficient in my specialty area? Because, I spent a really long time getting proficient in my specialty area. We're talking about proficient at the level that you'd expect on graduation from their particular program. Okay, so the other thing I want to point out is that there are multiple tabs in this spreadsheet here. The only one that we need to worry about or enter data on is the data entry sheet. The rest of them are actually locked to prevent you from accidentally adding data there as well. So we have courses in the first few columns: course number, course name, and assigned instructor. This one's mine. You can search down to find your particular course. And then along the top, or the second row actually, we have the program learning outcomes. So the first row doesn't really matter, you don't have to worry about that, but having a look at these learning outcomes for the programs, you're going to consider each one in isolation. So again, this is my course here in the third row, and I'm going to look at the first one, which is generate a close reading of a text, recognize, explain, and appreciate a text elements such as diction, imagery, form, and connotations. So I introduced that. I'm going to put I for introduce. And then I'm going to go along and do the same kind of thing with each learning outcome. Now, I want to point out that sometimes you will put not applicable because you feel you don't actually achieve that learning outcome. You don't teach and assess it in your course. And so then you would put NA, and that's totally fine. We don't expect every course to achieve every single learning outcome. Now, this is a first year course, so I have mostly I's and NA's. And I'm just going to whip right through. You'll take a little bit more time reading each learning outcome, reminding yourself of those definitions. Now, I want to just mention one thing that's a common question that we get. What happens if I introduce a concept in my course and students also get a chance to practice it and reinforce that same concept? In that case, we consider the highest value that they reach. So don't bother with trying to put I, R. Just put R to stand for reinforce, because although they're also introduced to it, they achieve a reinforcement level. Same if you go even all the way to proficient, but they start at a reinforcement level. Go with the highest value that the students reach within your course. So once you've completed that, staying with the same course, you want to enter the assessment methods and the instructional methods. So again, go back to the instructions that were sent to you by email. So now I'm looking at not a single learning outcome, but my entire course. You might want to get your syllabus out and look at that. And you're basically just entering all of the assessment methods that you use in your course and all of the instructional methods that you use in your course. So how you're testing students, evaluating students on how they can achieve your learning outcomes. So in my course, I have a take-home test, and looking at that document, there's a code that goes with take-home test. And the instructions say I need to enter a 2-digit code followed directly by a comma. So the code for take-home test is 707. It has to be 2 digits, so 07 and a comma. Then I can just add the rest of the ones that I use. If I have multiple take-home tests, just put it once. It's just, is it there or not? So I also have a quiz, 08, comma, participation grade, 10, comma, a blog assessment, which is 13, an essay, which is 25, and a self-assessment, which is 30. Now, this is the trick. The very last one that I enter also needs a comma, so please make sure that there's a comma on the last one as well. You're not going to break anything if you don't do that, but it won't add your final assessment. So you want to make sure there's a comma trailing every single code. Now for instructional methods, same thing. So I'm going to look on the instructional methods list now in the document and find that one of the instructional methods I use is lecture, which is 02, comma, multimedia, some little videos, an online module, a short group activity, and a seminar activity. You'll notice on this one, all my numbers weren't in order. That doesn't matter. The order can be, any which order as long as it's 2 digits followed by a comma. Now, when you get to the end here, you want to enter yes. You might think it seems obvious that you're done with your row, but if there are any blanks or anything like that, which there shouldn't be, but if there are, then someone might be wondering if you're done. This just indicates to the curriculum chair that you're completely finished. The next step is to check for any other courses in the list that I'm teaching, to find those and to enter the data for them as well. Go to the end, click done, and then you're all finished.